Did Play With Something Safe redefine what a comeback sounds like? Let's talk about it. What's going on, y'all? It's your man Lighthouse, and you're now tuned into another episode of Everything Ain't For Everybody. And today we're going to be discussing Rosco P, Coldchain, and Nicholas Craven's Play With Something Safe project. Rosco's return arrives not as a reclamation campaign, but as a document of survival rendered in unhurried detail. Once a promising signee under Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo's Star Trek, Rosco P. Coldchain saw his ascent interrupted by industry collapse and later a prison sentence that stretched across 14 formative years. What remains now is not the mythology of what could have been, but the clarity of what has been endured. Back in those times, I thought Star Trek was going to be a formidable label. They were stacked with unique talent that meshed well with Neptune's production. I thought acts like Rosco and Family, as well as the Clips, gave Star Trek its edge. But we never got a Family album or Rosco P. Coldchain album by the Neptunes. But now the time has arrived for us to hear a full body of work from Rosco. Play With Something Safe unfolds over a unified sonic architecture crafted entirely by Nicholas Craven. The production is restrained and patient, soul loops that linger rather than evolve, allowing Rosco's voice to sit forward in the mix, unchallenged and unhurried. There's no urgency to impress, only a commitment to recount. That steadiness becomes the album's defining mechanism, a space where memory can breathe without interruption. His writing leans heavily into recollection. I always consider him a poignant lyricist because his bars always seem dead serious and calculated, but delivered in an interesting way. Childhood scenes emerge with diaristic precision. There's domestic instability, neighborhood figures, and early decisions shaped by scarcity. These moments feel unedited, as if committed to tape in the same sequence they surface. Elsewhere, violence is rendered with a chilling neutrality, stripped of spectacle and processed like routine observation. The emotional register is deliberately flattened, suggesting a perspective shaped by repetition rather than shock. Guest appearances like Ab Liva, Jimmy D, and Bruiser Wolf extend the album's internal logic. Each voice carried a similar weight, where collaboration seems like the afterthought to the fact that they share similar points of view. Their verses do not disrupt the album's tone, rather they reinforce it, contributing to a collective narrative built on risk, consequence, and endurance. When Rosco turns directly towards his incarceration, the perspective sharpens further. He speaks within an awareness that feels processed over time rather than newly discovered. The reflections are not framed as lessons, but as acknowledgments. The decisions made, environments endured, and the quiet arithmetic that connects them. His cadence, largely unchanged from his earlier work, continues to resist rhythmic conformity, favoring a spoken immediacy that prioritizes thought over polish. Philly rappers are incredible lyricists, and everyone who has cracked the surface always has something unique about them, and Rosco's delivery was always interesting to me. There are flashes of humor, offbeat, jagged, occasionally absurd, but they function as an extension of character. Even the wit feels saturated with wisdom, another layer of how he processes the world rather than a device to entertain it. What distinguishes this record from his earlier output is the sense of arrival, not in the conventional sense of success, but in composure. The album feels cathartic because we finally have a solid body of work from Rosco. A fully executed album with Nicholas Craven isn't what I imagined it would be, but it definitely exceeded my expectations as being a solid project. The stories told on this album are not chasing validation, they exist with the quiet confidence of having already been experienced. Like, I totally would have never thought that these two would link up, but I like that because I feel like where rap is going, it's a better ecosystem for artists like Rosco or someone who has a name, who may have not got the shine that they should have gotten early on in their career, to kind of tap into the underground, because we are the people that really have taste and really know what's up, and there will be people that will support him because he has this kind of edgy delivery, and just his perspective as an MC is just something that we would appreciate, that if he was in the mainstream, we don't know how that would go, you know what I'm saying? We don't know how they would kind of dice down and kind of water down him so that he's more palatable to a mainstream audience, you know? So I feel like the Nicholas Craven angle, and even if he works with other producers in the underground and just does his own thing, I'm sure there's gonna be a bunch of people who are going to support, because his pen has not faltered at any point. Like, his pen is still strong and he's still like putting shit down, you know what I mean? So I'm feeling this direction for Rosco P, and I feel like he should just stick with this, or just, you know, kind of stay within this environment, you know, artistically. By its close, Play With Something Safe reads less like a comeback and more like a stabilization. An artist no longer interrupted, but finally speaking at his own pace. Rosco's performance on the song Future is exceptional. His cadence becomes the rhythm, giving the sparse production its pulse. The song Prayer Group and Boogie Nights stand out as well, both grounded in reflection and delivered with striking clarity. But I'm curious to know what others feel about this album. It feels like a true restoration. Rosco is back home, moving with purpose and reasserting his place amongst Philadelphia's most formidable voices. But that's my time, y'all. Let me know what you think about this project. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you can stay in the loop. And if you're on a streaming platform listening to podcasts, right, and this appears as a podcast on whatever, if it's Apple Music, Spotify, I use Spotify, as you can see right here. You know, you can go to Everything for Everybody. You can follow the page and listen. And then after the episode is done, guess what you could do? You can go and listen to the album right there. So, you know, you're getting the review. You're able to just stop this show and just go listen to the album. And if you disagree with me, you can leave a comment right there. So I love the engagement. I like to talk to people. I like when people disagree with me. I like when people agree with me. You know what I'm saying? But we just here to share our passion for music, and I appreciate y'all. So until next time, take care of yourself. Peace, and we out. Chill.